Welcome back, viewers. Our focus remains on the top developments of this hour, where the Hindenburg Research founder Nate Anderson, who last week made the announcement about shutting down the operations of the short-selling firm, could be charged with securities fraud. Anderson is under scrutiny for colluding with the hedge funds in preparing reports to target the various companies added. The report, based on a Canadian portal which cited documents filed before a court in Ontario. The portal stated that the documents filed in a defamation case at the Ontario Superior Court revealed that Moez Kassam, the head of the Canada's Anson Hedge Fund, admitted to sharing the research with various sources, including Hindenburg's Nate Anderson. The market frauds portal has said that the court documents allegedly revealed that Hindenburg Research colluded with Anson while preparing a short report. It also highlighted the fact that the preparation of the bearish report without the disclosure of the participation can be charged as securities fraud by the US Security and Exchange Commission. Anson and Kassam are yet to issue any statement on this matter. My colleague Brian is joining me live on the broadcast. After the surprise Hindenburg shutdown, Brian, a new escalation of, in fact, allegation has come on the director of the Hindenburg, which is under scrutiny. What is that you're picking up in this regard? Hindenburg Research founder Nate Anderson could be charged with the securities fraud, is what we are learning in the latest, Brian.
Well, right now the controversy that is surrounding the Hindenburg Research escalated after Bloomberg's crack research team published a series of investigative reports that was titled Short Sellers, Secret Talks and the Alliances Emerge in Court Battles. Now, the report uncovered alleged undisclosed connections between Hindenburg Research and Canadian-based Anson funds operated by Moez Kassam. Now, Nathan Anderson, who is the founder of the Hindenburg Research, was named in the report and has denied any collaboration with Anson funds or similar entities. Very importantly, Hindenburg also very importantly maintains that its investigations are independent and based on leads from multiple sources and untainted by external influence. However, there were leaked emails also from 2019 suggested otherwise. And the emails also reportedly, revealed exchanges between Hindenburg and Sanjeev Puri of Anson Funds, indicating that the Anson had significant editorial influence over a specific trade-related report, with Hindenburg playing a secondary role. And remains unclear if there were any financial arrangements between the two firms. Now, on the other hand, the Adani Group, who is a frequent target of Hindenburg, is also reportedly conducting its own covert, operations. That is also happening, and even their investigation with foreign intelligence partners to counter what it sees as orchestrated attacks. And the conglomerate also suffered a devastating $150 billion market value loss in 2023. And despite there were mounting allegations, Adani has refrained from any legal action against Hindenburg. And there were analysts also that were speculating this decision might be strategic, allowing the conglomerate to focus on building its counter narrative and mitigating market volatility as well. Yes.
All right, Brian, thank you very much for sharing the latest with us at this point of time. We'll continue to track these developments very closely. Now, joining me live on the broadcast is Dr. Sharat Kohli, who's a senior economist. Always a pleasure to you, talking to sir. Thank you very much for joining us. And the latest what we're tracking is that Hindenburg's Nate Anderson is under scrutiny on the scrutiny over the alleged links with the hedge funds. How is this entire, in fact, discourse is looking like on the surface, leading to more problems for, in fact, the Hindenburg Research Foundation?
Good morning to NewsX viewers. I think I'm not surprised by what has happened in Canada and the hedge funds, because I was quite expecting this. And from the time when the Adani thing broke out a few years ago, we were very convinced that he's got arrangement with funds here and there, or high net worth individuals whom he tries to indirectly benefit. So I'm not at all surprised. And I think the more important thing is that heydays of Nate Anderson are now over. I think he should be, since he's wound up his shop, he should be ready to face investigations in the respective countries. I would not be surprised if an investigation is launched against him in America as well. On behest of Adani Group. We've been saying that from the beginning, that Adani Group must go after him. and in the United Kingdom and a lot of other places, where he has been doing his nefarious activities of shorting and causing deliberate losses by criticizing and making strictures on various business groups. So we should not forget he was also responsible for the great banking collapse in England many years ago. So I'm sure he's in for a difficult time. President Trump, we all know, is not a big fan of Hindenburg because of his links to deep state. George Soros connection is obviously there, and which is, in fact, the timing of his winding up of the shop was very precise. Just 2-3 days before President Trump was about to take oath, he decided to shut shop because he knew his shop is not going to run anymore. It wasn't anyway a very big business. It was just a matter of 6-7 research analysts, or I would say detectives, sitting here and there trying to spread out false information to make money out of shorting. For the NewsX viewers who do not know what is shorting, well, you sell the shares first and you buy them later. When you sell them, you spread bad news, so the stock prices start falling, and you buy the shares thereafter and make a clean profit out of it. This is called shorting. I'm sure Nate Anderson has got some difficult times ahead, in not too distant future from other countries as well.
Dr. Sharath Kohli, in fact, at the moment, how the things are looking like, there has also been the response from the file that has been filed in a defamation lawsuit at Ontario's Superior Court of Justice, where the documents had reportedly revealed that Moez Kassam, the head of Canada's Anson Hedge Fund, has admitted his firm shared research with a wide variety of sources, including Anderson. How crucial is this entire statement in a disclosure is, as the Market Frauds portal has claimed the court filing suggesting that Hindenburg collaborated with Anson and in drafting the report. Such undisclosed collaboration in preparing the bearish report could potentially amount to the securities fraud, which we are talking about at this point under the US Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC regulations. How does, in fact, the Indian markets could potentially get an understanding of these developments and its consequences?
Well, the Indian markets did have a fair idea of what, because I remember sitting on your channel when all these Hindenburg revelations, so-called revelations, were made. And without a doubt, I had said he's got a connivance with some funds where there is a profit-sharing arrangement. They make profit, they share a cut with him. So, but this statement made by the hedge fund chief, I think, is definitely going to have a significant impact on the case, because when the connivance between Hindenburg and the hedge fund is very clear, I think the defamation will also hold good, and he will have to face charges under the SEC also. So there are some difficult times ahead for Nate Anderson. When he shut shop, obviously he knew that this is not going to run any further. So I even foresee a jail term for Nate Anderson, because this particular case in Canada hedge fund seems to be beyond doubt, and there is enough evidence to corner him. There is enough evidence to convict him, and I'm sure we can look forward to Nate Anderson going to his place, which is a jail, and the Indian markets, especially Adani Group shares, will react even more positively. We saw some Adani Group shares reacting positively the other day when Hindenburg announced winding up of the business. We might see, Adani Group shares rise further, and it will put an end to the narrative which was being built by the Indian politicians also on the opposition side about Adani and all the other matters related and revealed by Hindenburg.
Dr. Sharath Kohli, thank you very much for giving this, in fact, much importance and putting this in perspective for the viewers and for the people who are closely monitoring the markets in the view of these allegations that are going to be very heavy on Nate Anderson. Very much, thank you very much for being with us. And now in the latest, let's shift our focus to the investigation that has